my screen. Okay, here we go. So this is being recorded. Please use, like I said, the chat Q&A for specific questions you may have, and we'll kind of try to address them along the way or at the end. So student success really is a team effort. This is parents and students and district, and we're trying to think about how we can all work together. In my role as the instructional technology coach, I usually mostly support the teachers on using the technology. And in the era we're living in right now, I'm trying to jump on sometimes and help the students troubleshoot some things as well. Mr. Perucci troubleshoots things specific to things not working with the device. And I help with things such as websites or specific learning tools that they are using. You can go ahead and add printing to your, you can print from your home device. We have directions on that, both on the student portal as well as a link here at the end of this presentation, which will also be posted on how to kind of get that going for you. Troubleshooting, things are going to go wrong. I mean, it happens, and we're going to do our best to support you and your student through that. So a couple of quick things you can always do is restart a device, turn Wi-Fi on and off. I do have some videos on the student portal in reference to that. So the student portal is the home page on the student Chromebook. So when they open their Chromebook, it is there, ready to go. There are resources there for them. And I actually emailed all of the students on Friday a little video walkthrough of the student portal so they know how to find some of those resources to be able to help themselves when they're stuck. You can always contact your student teacher right away. Teachers are going to help troubleshoot and direct assistance. And then your student can email Mr. Perucci directly with an issue, or myself, and if it's device related, I'll just kind of get Mr. Perucci involved. Securely filtering is already installed on all district Chromebooks. So this is something that we use to filter online activity. They're not foolproof, but they have layers of safety to keep your students safe. There is a parent portal that in connection with Securely, which you may have set up years ago, or you may not have and now realize you'd like to. So I'm just going to show quickly a little bit of the information on that, as well as who to contact if you never got started up with your Securely parent portal in the past years. This is not something new this year, but it just might be something you want to look into even if you hadn't before. So there's a QR code there if you want. So if you have a device handy, a phone, you can open your camera app and just scan that and it'll open the information. Or there is a link here, which again, like I said, you'll be able to access when we put these slides up on the district website. And the Securely Parent portal, once you're set up, you can view your child's online activity and productivity on student Chromebooks. You can check to have an emailed weekly report of internet activity. It shows you flagged activity. It shows you blocked websites, which you can change those. So there are certain sites that are blocked already according to the district website, but then you as a parent have the option to decide if you would like to block even more sites. And that last part, sorry, refers to the teachers. So if you have any Securely questions, our Securely coordinator works directly with parents to help them get started on this. And then Mary Jane Warden is our Director of Innovation and Instructional Technology. So she kind of helps run the Securely stuff on our end. Okay, so now on to our Schoology overview. So the question about how to get into the Zoom meeting, this is gonna, in Schoology, we're gonna kind of address that. All of the Zoom links are gonna be in Schoology for them, and it should open directly into the Zoom app for you. So Schoology is a learning management system. It's really just a place for all of the information to be housed in one spot. So in the spring, we were trying to share that remote e-learning board just so you could find all the links in one place. But it was more kind of just trying to figure out the best way to communicate it. Schoology is a whole system that we had actually already adopted as a district, but we're in the process of rolling it out. And now we are ready to kind of have it all open, ready to go, so that students, parents, and teachers are all going to the same spot for all information. So the students will log into Schoology on their Chromebook. It is already bookmarked on their Chromebook bar, and I'm going to play this quick 1-minute video so you can see kind of this process of how they are going to log in.
Students, I'm here to show you how to get onto your Schoology account. So the easiest way to do this is you're going to look in your bookmarks toolbar, and you should have a folder called My School Apps, and one of the drop downs should say something with Schoology. It might look a little different than mine, but it should say something about Schoology. When you click on that, it's going to take you to this sign-in page. Make sure you choose your student account, which it will open if you are on your Chromebook. And when you are in, you will land on your course dashboard homepage, and you will see all your different courses from all your different teachers. If for some reason you have deleted your My School Apps, you're going to navigate to learn.d64.org, and it's going to take you to the exact same login page. Thanks so much.
So that bookmark is pushed out automatically onto their bookmark bar on their Chromebooks. Otherwise, it is the simple URL of learn.d64, and I'll make sure that gets posted on the student portal if for whatever reason they do delete their bookmarks. So in Schoology, you can see course materials. So this is an example of how it could look. There could be folders with material in them. Teachers can post links, post videos, post discussion boards, post assignments, post assessments. So there's a variety of tools in there, but they could also link to an outside website that we also use for learning. So it's just that all of the information starts there. That's where they're going to find where they need to go. Just so you know, because I don't want you to jump off right now and take a look, the course content turns on when the grading period turns on. So I actually believe it should turn on tomorrow. It might be Thursday morning, but I think it should turn on tomorrow, and their courses, they will see all of their courses they are in. That Schoology is a direct sync with our PowerSchool. So if you've already looked into PowerSchool and seen their schedule, that's exactly what you're going to see reflected in Schoology, because those two systems talk to each other. There is an updates and announcements section in Schoology. So the student materials are going to live in this materials tab, and in the update section is where teachers can post maybe the daily schedule of what they're going to be doing that day, news, important reminders, and links just about that specific day. Students can message teachers directly in Schoology, and parents will have the same access. So again, all of that information stays right there in Schoology. They can upload a file, a link, a video or audio if they have a question along with it that they want to add audio on. I already have the directions for the students, which they'll be getting early on, about how they can take a screenshot and add it right here, because that's always going to be helpful. If something is feeling like it's going wrong at home, they could send it straight to their teacher. This is what I see on my end. So the interface looks very similar to email, but it's just communication with teachers only. And all teachers are pre-loaded in the system, so they'll be able to directly message right to their teachers. As far as navigating Schoology, in this courses tab, the students can click from course to course. Once they click in it, there's all the information for that course organized in one spot, and then they can go to their other class. So it is just kind of, again, all organized in one spot, and they can easily go from course to switch which class they are in. There is a Schoology calendar that is automatically also in here. And what's nice is all assignments, assessments, discussion boards, anything with a due date associated with it will automatically populate on their calendar. The student could hover over the assignment and it'll even tell them which class it is for. So it's just a nice way to help organize when they are going to be organizing their content a little bit more. So Zoom in Schoology. So the Zoom tool works within the Schoology interface. So the students, when they go to Zoom, they'll actually be just going into Schoology and literally just hitting a button that says join. I showed them a little video of this in the video I sent out on Friday, how to navigate to that first day. So I encourage your child to check their email and watch that little video that navigates the student portal and then access to that first day's Zoom meeting. And then from there, the different content that is in the different courses is going to be depending on the teacher and what they're populating that course with. But everyone's Zoom link should be at the very top of their courses, and we're kind of helping to make sure that's a uniform message so that all kids can easily find where they need to go for their meetings. So Schoology Parent Access. Schoology Parent Access you will sign up for. So you go to Schoology.com for your parent account. You have a parent access code, and that parent access code connects you to your student. That access code is going to be in PowerSchool in your remote learning. So we have a directions linked here on how to get in there and what exactly you're clicking to find that. So again, this is linked here and will be shared out. So if you don't know where to get to the access code, after that, this Schoology.com, you go over and you can easily switch between children. You just click add child, and all you're doing is pasting that access code, and then you're connected. Here is the parent view. You're going to see courses. Similarly to the students, you can click and open them. You can go into a specific assignment. You can click on that assignment. From there, you can see actually what your students submitted if you'd like. You can see if they submitted it multiple times, what dates and times they were submitted, as well as a grade if a teacher has a grade in there for it. Oh, sorry, I switch back a slide. So you can see groups, which really will be more like clubs and anything that isn't a direct course. So that might be something that starts to get rolled out further throughout the school year. You're gonna be able to click on their calendar, their graded assignments, their upcoming assignments, all of the information that the students can see. As a parent, you can also send messages. Like I said, the D64 staff are already rostered in there, so you can click that envelope button and just start typing somebody's last name and it will come up. And then you have those same options as a student. You can add a file or a link, or simply just type a question. They can also message you back this way, so all of the information is there in one spot. Oh, I'm sorry, this securely information goes with the earlier. So securely, like I said, was our internet filtering service. So here's a little bit more information about it. Just blocking inappropriate categories, records network misuse, and goes through general internet usage. We have this on all of our Chromebooks. Here is a short video on Securely as well. So if you had not previously signed up for that, you can see how Securely works. see if I can get that to play.
Hello, welcome to the Parent Portal by Securely. This is Mark, and I'm here to give you a quick walkthrough on how parents can keep track of their child's online activity on the Securely Parent Portal. You will get an email from Securely in your inbox. The email gives you a snapshot of the sites that your child has visited, items searched online, and videos watched. To get an in-depth view of online activity, the parent must click Go to My Portal. This will take the parent to Securely's Parent Portal registration page. Just a couple of boxes to check, and you're signed up for free. Now that you're in, you can see a complete picture of what the kid has been up to. The entire list of sites visited, videos watched, stuff searched. If there is something to be concerned about, we will show it in the Flagged Activity tab. Next up, there is the Account tab, where you are able to change your password. The Connections tab here will show you if there is any other parent associated with your child. You can accept or reject that connection. Once the connections are established, this tab will be empty. There will be no more connections to show. So, this was one way of accessing the Parent Portal. There are other ways to do it too. When you sign up, you receive a welcome email from Securely. The email will have your username and password. You can use these credentials to log into the Parent Portal from the Securely website. A simpler option is to just click Let's Go and sign in directly. You would arrive at your Parent Portal dashboard and see the child's data. Easy as that. Raising responsible digital citizens is just as important as raising socially responsible kids. Securely's Parent Portal allows the school and parents to share that responsibility by keeping them informed and engaged. Thank you for signing up for the Parent Portal by Securely. Have a nice day.
Okay, so here was that information again. Sorry about how to get into Securely and who to contact. So here's some additional resources and info. These are all linked and they may have been sent out at different times, but just so they're kind of all in one spot. How to connect to your home Wi-Fi, a little more about the District 64 technology, the one-to-one learning handbook. And then here's just kind of a couple helpful digital citizenship links as far as digital citizenship online. I'm going to go ahead and stop screen sharing and try to answer some of these questions that came through in the chat. Or in the Q&A. I was trying to type some answers, but I will kind of go ahead and go through these so that anyone who doesn't have that open can see these questions as well. So I did say Zoom links will be in the Schoology courses. There was a question if student-teacher Zoom sessions will be recorded, and sessions are not recorded due to student privacy. We don't want to be recording anything in your home. So teachers will make sure content is available another way if students miss a meeting for some reason, but it's not going to be recorded. The Schoology courses, like I said, the gradebook I do believe starts tomorrow, even though class starts Thursday, just because originally tomorrow was that start date on the grading trimester, and then they will be active. So we can see on our end, the students are already all in there and it's just ready to be activated. There was a question about Maine South uses Google Classroom as their LMS, and so why aren't we? So Google Classroom is not a full LMS. So for those that aren't familiar with Google Classroom is also a way to pass out information. But if you read about Google Classroom, they'll even say they're not a full learning management system. There's no discussion board options. They can't link in resources such as textbooks and YouTube that are directly linked within the course. When you open many links in Schoology, they're actually just going to open right still in that Schoology tab instead of sending students out to another tab. So Schoology really is built as a full learning management system where all of the kind of the information can stay in one spot. The next question was, if Schoology and PowerSchool are synced, how do we find our child's correct schedule? So homeroom teachers are going to work with students to kind of build out what their specific schedule looks like based on the A day, B day, C day. So they'll have their own unique chart. I can go ahead and also post on the front of the student portal the A day, B day, C day, and that will come through on the calendar as well. So the teachers will work with the students to make sure they have the correct schedule.
And Mrs. Powell, just to jump in on that one as well.
Yeah.
And again, the courses and the classes that your students enrolled in is going to be accurately reflected in both Schoology and in PowerSchool. With our change to the remote learning schedule that does have the extended blocks for our cores and the different meeting patterns for our classes, that is something that with that late change to our learning schedule for the remote setting was not able to be carried over into PowerSchool. So what we've sent out there are just some directions. When you go into PowerSchool, you will see, if you look in the matrix view, you'll see your students' classes listed from 1 to 11, with that 11th period being that homeroom attendance class. And then you are able to, with some of the templates that we sent out, be able to better organize your student schedule based on those A days and B days. Again, those C days will have all of those classes in the order that they are in the PowerSchool, with the exception being homeroom, which is first. But again, that template will help you organize some of those classes there. So it's one of those things that, again, we wish that, you know, when you clicked into PowerSchool, it showed the exact times and the exact pattern for our remote learning schedule. And maybe we can get it to that point, but as of right now, that's, you know, that's what we were able to accommodate with it.
This next question I saw was about recording. This is being recorded and it will be posted on the district parent use site. So you will be able to review this recording as well as the slides. The next question was, how many hours a day are the kids going to be in front of their screens? Principal Swed, do you want to take that one too?
Absolutely. And what we're looking for, and again, while we do understand that we've got extended blocks, you know, 120 minutes for our 6th graders and 100 minutes for our cores for our 7th and 8th grade, elective classes being 40 minutes long, you know, we're looking for that live interaction to be a balance or a blended approach where our students do have live interaction for about 50% of that. Again, the way that we're envisioning this is that, you know, there'll be an introduction when the students come into class. The teacher will have whole class, you know, laying out the objectives, the day's lesson, the procedures that the students are going to be going through. That may be a portion of the class, and then using some of that time to break off into small discussion groups or individualized groups for different assistance or guidance on that, and then bringing it back together at the end. So while the class itself will be live and the teacher will be on, the teacher will not necessarily be giving direct instruction for that whole block of time in front of the camera. Many times they'll be breaking off into these smaller groups to offer more individualized assistance for students. So, you know, again, while your student may be logged on for that class, you know, they will be working independently. There are some reading and writing assignments along with some independent work that they'll be doing on some of that guided practice. So again, you know what, we're structuring our classes so that our students are not just glued to it the whole time, that there is opportunity for them to do some independent work or small group work outside of that as well.
Mr. Perucci, would you like to take this next question on how do you print from Chromebooks to the Wi-Fi printer, or do we have a set of directions just ready to send out on that?
Sorry about that. Yeah, we do have a set of directions, and it went out with all the 6th grade parents. And I can make sure that we send that out to the 7th and 8th grade parents as well to make sure, but it'll go through the Google Cloud printing, and I can send those out.
Great. And I can get that posted on the student portal as well, so the kids have access to it right when they log into their Chromebook and have the directions right in front of them. The next one is on when Schoology will go live. So as I said, I believe that is tomorrow. They might have adjusted it to the Thursday start time, but I don't think so. That's just why I'm saying tomorrow. Tomorrow was originally the start of the grading period. This is the same Schoology presentation and plan for the elementary students. The platform is different or the same. So yes, if you have a third grader, fourth grader, or fifth grader, their presentation is, yes, going to be the same, and they're also going to access it the same way. So you'll be adding all the students on the same Schoology account, and you'll be able to flip between each of your students. Are they using Seesaw too? My daughter told me that's where we find her classes. So Seesaw is also rostered. So yes, students can go in Seesaw and see their classes there as well. It is going to be our primary learning management system for kindergarten, first grade, and second grade. But there's different activities and things you can do on Seesaw that some of our middle school teachers do use as well. When they do use a Seesaw activity though, that'll just be linked right in Schoology. So again, all of the information is still going to be coming from the one place, but Seesaw has some different interactive activities that the teachers might assign.
And also jumping in on that aspect as well, and one of the rationale for moving into Schoology and the use of Schoology at middle school is that there is quite an extensive use of a lot of different applications and different resources, online resources for students to use. Seesaw being one of them, Notability, and some of these others where there are assignments that are completed in these different softwares or programs, and they link into Schoology so that assignments can be submitted through Schoology using those. And it's just something that has a lot more interaction with a lot more of the different learning applications or extensions that are available.
The next question was on, do parents share a Schoology account or does each have their own? And I do believe each has their own, but I'm going to follow up with that question and make sure I'm giving you the right information. So I do believe you'll both be able to use the access code, but I will have to double check on that for you. How do we join courses? You're not going to have to join them. They will just appear in your account as that grading period starts. Will a Schoology gradebook be used? So teachers can grade an assignment in Schoology, and that's automatically going to sync over to PowerSchool. However, they don't have to put every single graded assignment in Schoology. Like Principal Swed just said, they might be doing some activity on some other resource and be grading that. So the overall grade in Schoology will be turned off because it's not going to be an accurate reflection of all course materials. The grade will still be in PowerSchool. But a teacher might give one assignment in Schoology and grade it, and sure, you'd be able to see the grade on that one. You're just not going to see an overall grade for the course because every graded assignment is not going to be within Schoology.
So yeah, as a rule of thumb, for attendance, for grades, your PowerSchool is still, the PowerSchool parent portal is still going to be, one of the main things that you will be referencing throughout the course of the year. That'll have the most update and accurate representation of your students' progress through a grading term.
My son's Google Classroom is still linked. So we are still using Google. Schoology actually has Google assignment apps built right within it. And so everything's still going to be using the whole Google platform. We're definitely still a G Suite district. And if your son's Google Classroom is on from last year, that just means that it just might need to be archived. But all middle, 3rd through 8th grade will all be using Schoology. And thank you, Mary Jane Warden, for popping in. Parents don't have a parent login to Google Classrooms, and I did miss that on the earlier, why would we move to Schoology? That's the other thing that Google Classroom doesn't quite have figured out, how to have a parent piece attached to it, like the parent login you will have for Schoology. Does it communicate with PowerSchool? Yes, the grades go into PowerSchool, and students the other way are synced into Schoology from PowerSchool. So yes, those systems do work the same, and actually they're owned by the same company. So they actually work very nicely together.
Sounds good. I'll take a couple of these other questions. It seems like we have some scheduling ones there, and I just want to get those because I know we covered those in some of our other parent presentations. On the Lincoln calendar, there is a designation, at least for the next 3 or 4 weeks, that lay out the A days and B days for students. It will be on a rotating basis. Every Wednesday is a C day. So again, you can refer to the Lincoln calendar on the Lincoln website for the A and B days. School book textbook pickup is scheduled for next week. We're going to have more information coming out about that. But I do want to make sure that our questions are focusing on Schoology and some of the technology so that we can get our students and our parents up and running.
Will the students use online only learning materials? No, there will be a variety of materials available. I answered earlier, approximately 50% of the time will be synchronous learning, so at the same time with a teacher on a live call, but the rest of that time can be a wide variety of things not digitally related. Will there be a link in Schoology for the first bell attendance? So the students will go into Schoology to join their first Zoom meeting, and actually attendance is taken each class period in middle school. So every time they jump on a meeting, each class period throughout the day, there will be attendance taken that they are present. Yeah, A day, B day, we went over, that's going to be on the calendar. How will homeroom be done? Principal Swed, do you want to, or do we, or did you, sorry, did you kind of answer that? I was going through questions.
That's one of the things too, and a couple of
Okay.
these questions too. I know we provided this out. With regard to homeroom, it is going to be every Wednesday morning. It's not going to be a daily attendance that, you know, some of our returning 7th and 8th grade parents might be used to as a result of our remote learning schedule and the benefit of having that time to be able to connect with their teachers. We are having that on our Wednesdays. So there is a half-hour time. Every other week will be a second step SEL lesson, very much in step with what we've done in the past. And we will also use as a check-in time for our teachers and our students to connect and stay up on some of that executive functioning, being able to stay organized and just checking in on work completion. With regard to the scheduled template that was sent out, again, you can reference my email from yesterday that did have some templates. It spelled out the start times for those classes so that you can put into these templates your student's schedule, and it will have those times noted on there.
I did just answer really quickly one on, oh, now I lost it, sorry, in the answer.
No worries. Yeah, there's a lot of questions coming through, and you're doing a great job. This is Paul, and again, you know what, I'm going to hop in on some of these as well because I see some other ones there. There were some questions with regard to workbooks or physical supplies or if everything's going to be online. We are organizing the supply pickup days, and again, more information is going to be coming out about those days for next week. We do know that some of our classes do require specific resources, whether those be texts that our students need or additional things for some of their elective classes, more hands-on materials and things like that. So we are going to have some opportunities for students to have in their hands text and other educational instructional resources. So not everything will be done via an online textbook. There are some courses that have much better, some of the publishers have much better accessibility with some of their online features. So again, our teachers will be providing those. And again, where that's going to be found in Schoology is in the resources aspect of that. So that will be links to online resources. It will be links to Google Drives that have specific documents or resources that are found there. So again, while Schoology is a great way of managing some of those online or digital resources, there still is a need for some of our students to have those hands-on, resources and texts in their hand. So we will have more information coming out about how those days look with regard to picking up those physical resources.
I'm trying to just kind of scroll down a few. There's a couple of questions that I'm also going to have to throw to you, Principal Swed, as far as being able to pick up printed materials. I don't know what.
Yeah, and we can definitely discuss that. Much of what is going to be submitted from this remote learning environment is going to be submitted digitally, so that there will not be a need for that. If there's an accommodation or anything else that we need to make, I think the first step with that is if there's any concern with regard to being able to access something or being able to print, if something was required to be printed, is to first reach out to that teacher. And if it's something that we need to accommodate, we can definitely have those conversations.
Okay. So I'm going to kind of keep skipping like schedule template type questions then, because I think that was addressed, as well as that supply. We do have a question about like motor skills, and just as an aside on the Chromebooks, just FYI, all of our student Chromebooks are touchscreen, but they also are all equipped with a stylus that is right in their Chromebook. So if you look on the right-hand side of their Chromebook and you kind of grab it, there is actually a stylus. So all of our students actually have the capability to write on anything that is provided that works with a touch screen. So that's not all materials, but just so you know, and the students will be getting a little reminder tutorial on that as well as things get started, so they know they have that there. But just so you know, that is there. There was a question about a Chromebook. Mr. Perucci, this might be a question for you as far as recommendation for a second monitor with a Chromebook. Maybe we direct that parent to just email you directly?
Yeah, that works. The Chromebooks don't have an HDMI port on them, so anything they do use, they need to use likely an adapter that'll connect to USB-C. But I can answer any questions if anyone has any specific issues for their home.
Okay. And then there's some more about workbooks. What about teachers facilitating in Zoom breakout rooms? Could the teachers see, hear small groups in the breakout rooms? So what this refers to is in Zoom, teachers have the capability of using small rooms within the large meeting to facilitate small group work. And the teachers will be able to at all times pop in and out of any of those rooms, as well as be requested for assistance in any of those rooms. And we're recommending that teachers just kind of make that small group time short and targeted, and then always bringing back to the large group, so that the students are always checking in with the large class. But we will be encouraging the use of some of those small group times in breakout.
Additionally, you know, and with that as well, and some of our classrooms do have co-taught classrooms, or there are other instructional assistants that could also be facilitating some of those small groups as well. So it is possible that even though the teacher may be with one group, we could have another one of the adults that works in that classroom facilitating another small group. Again, same way that it would be happening within the school day. Again, there are breakout sessions and small group activities that are happening in a classroom of 24, 25 students. And while it's possible to kind of keep an eye on certain things, again, you know, that proximity is something that we're always trying to work through there. So again, great question, but I totally understand where you're coming from.
There are some push notifications available in Schoology. So when you set your parent account up, you'll actually see that, and you have a couple of choices as a parent. And I actually am in a unique position because my daughter's district uses Schoology. So I am a parent who uses Schoology from the parent role as well. So I can sign up for two things. I can sign up to get a weekly just email of just a recap, but I can also sign up to get an email when something is overdue. So yes, those push notifications are available for those types of missing assignments to help managing. There was a question about getting a schedule for kind of the whole week. I do think our middle school teachers are great about that. They very regularly use Google Slides agendas, which now can be posted right at the top of their Schoology page, where they lay out what everything is going to look like for the week. But yes, we will continue to encourage that schedule get communicated out early, so that you can help with management of the different schedules that might be happening in your specific household.
Absolutely. I'll take a couple of these next one. I saw a couple of questions coming in with regard to, yes, as you are aware, and as you know, you may have experienced the fact that there were some outages with regard to, or some technical issues related to Zoom today, and we, you know, had to troubleshoot that. You know what, there are possibilities that, you know, from time to time, either at our home specific residents or more widespread, there could be internet outages as well. You know what, one of these things is that we are going to have to be flexible with that. If there are large, widespread internet outages and things like that, we would definitely be communicating on how we can still connect with our students and still be able to maintain the progress in our academic classes. You know, I don't foresee that large, you know, internet outage being as much of a concern as some more of the technical outages or the glitches that we sometimes come across with Zoom or things like that. Google Meets is still something that is possible for us to be able to join with our students in a live conferencing face-to-face setting. So again, as a backup, while Zoom works a little bit more closely with Schoology, that Google Meets is still there as an option for us to be able to use. So it's not out of the question whatsoever. So again, I think all of us right now have entered into 2020 with the understanding that, you know, things can go wrong, and sometimes they can go wrong in a hurry. And, you know, as we embark on this, you know what, there are going to be some challenges for us. And, you know, we're just expecting, you know, our teachers are starting to adopt this approach as well. But you know what, they are very flexible and turning on the dime to be able to provide, you know, their services back to the students. So again, you know, as we go into this, understand that there probably will be some times that we come across some challenges. And you know what, we are going to try to figure out a solution to those as quickly as we can. I don't foresee any of these things being very long term. But again, we want to make sure that we can resolve those things and get our students back up and learning as quickly as possible.
There's one question I want to address too that I didn't say, but in the link to the how to sign up for your Schoology parent access, when you click on that link, which we will send out to you, there's the directions for how to get in through the app. So there was a question if they have an app. They do have an app, and it is great. Again, as a parent of a Schoology kid who uses Schoology in her district, I use the app all the time, and then I can just get the quick push notifications if something is late or things like that. So yes, there's an app, and it's great.
Absolutely. And one other aspect too in the question, you know, what about if a child is sick and not able to attend classes that day? How will makeup work be addressed? And it'd be very similar to if our student was in person with us. Again, being able to communicate with that teacher. You know what, our staff is very understanding with regard to that. We're flexible. We want the students to be caught up as quickly as possible. During this virtual world, sometimes it is a lot, you know, it can be easier to, you know, fall behind and things like that. So, you know, that teacher and those teams of teachers will be continuing to be talking to parents and talking with students about progress and work completion, making sure that everybody's staying caught up on that. But again, don't hesitate to reach out directly to the teacher, you know, of that class. You can reach out to the team leader for that team. They're great resources. We want our students keeping up on everything. We don't want anybody ever feeling, you know, behind because of a day that they had to take due to an illness or any other situation. So again, make sure that that communication is regular. Make sure that communication is happening at the time of that. And again, we're very flexible and accommodating with regard to that. So just treat it as if it were in-person learning.
There was one other question about, is there a PowerSchool app? And yes, there's also a PowerSchool app. And I feel the same way as a parent, that it's super helpful. It gives quick notification. It's very user-friendly. So we can make sure you have the information to download that as well. I think that's generally we got all. I mean, I don't know how much homework time should we expect, as well as will kids be working outside of the 8 to 3 time was asked a couple of times. I don't know if you want to address that.
No, absolutely. And there may be times, you know, that a student will have to complete an assignment or will be responsible for a short reading or a project or something like that outside of the time that they are, you know, in class. What we don't want to see is that our students are attending school. I mean, again, things have changed since the spring. You know, back in the spring, we had encouraged attendance. We, you know, definitely had a grading system that I think we would all agree did not provide the feedback that, you know, parents and students felt was necessary for that. Working with the state on that, we were able to reinstate some of these things, and so that we have a little bit more accountability. But right now, our students are in school, and we don't want to see them completely bogged down from 8 o'clock in the morning till 8 o'clock at night with all of this work. We do have the capabilities to be able to interact with our students in a much more face-to-face and live setting, and being able to provide that feedback. And so, you know, again, we want to be able to utilize that and not just look on the quantity of the work that's completed as opposed to the quality and the feedback that we're able to provide our students right now.
This was asked a couple of times and I did just answer it in the questions, but I just wanted to say it also. Students have access to check their own grades in PowerSchool, and on the student portal, there is a link straight to their PowerSchool that says check grades here. So again, it's to the unique URL for parents to go in to check. If they don't know their login for some reason, they can email me and I will make sure they know how to access that. I think, I'm sorry, I'm trying to type out the answer just to a couple more of these. Will the semester be pass-fail? Oh, there will be grades. Do you want to, there will be grades. This.
Absolutely. So, you know, and again, I think we're all used to or accustomed to our feedback system in the terms, you know, or in the familiar form of percentages, points, and grades. And again, we are back and able to provide that feedback for our students. It's something that, you know, we're just accustomed to and used to. So whether that's something that, you know, again, provides that motivation for a student, hey, I got an A on this, my efforts and my studying really paid off, or we start to see grades that start to decline, you know, we're going to have an indication not only as a parent, but also that student, you know, maybe that we need to get it into gear a little bit. So, you know what, I'm glad to see that we're back with points and percentages so that we can start to really assess the student's understanding, really keep an eye on some of their work progress and their work completion. And again, throughout the course of the, you know, term that we're on remote, there are going to be opportunities to connect with your teachers. You know, we are going to be sending out more information about what curriculum night will look like and what conferences will look like this fall as well. So again, just like in regular in-person school, again, make sure that you're in communication with your child's teachers, you know, and keeping up on the parent portal. Again, I have a 7th grader and a freshman in high school, and I can say that, you know, I probably failed as a parent in some regards of keeping as regularly updated on their parent portal or making them show me their student portal and their progress. I get it. There's a lot going on and it's one more thing. And I completely get that. But you know what, it is a great way to, you know, it doesn't take a lot of time. And when I was able to hop in on these things, hop in on PowerSchool, hop into the parent portal, you know, it really gave me a great idea of how my student was doing. You know, because again, I think if you ask your student when they come home, hey, how's school going? How you doing in this class? The answer is good, fine, I don't know, whatever it might be. If you're in, you know, that boat, believe me, I'm in that same one with you. So hop on there. It takes just a little bit of time. You'll get a great, you know, picture of how your student's doing. You can see comments from the teachers on particular assignments. And, you know, again, I understand the challenge of it sometimes at the time and everything else that we've got going on, but take it from me, it really does pay off.
Okay, I think there is no way for teachers to remotely close out websites real time.
Through Hapara, which is another feature that we, you know, could have access to, and I'm not sure if we've had that with all of our classes, but that is one option. Just another tool that's there for us if we needed to. Looking at that last question that came in, yes, you know what, as we've approached remote learning, again, our curriculum specialists across the district have looked at the standards that were there and have realigned some of our curriculum, taking into account not only our time in remote learning that's coming up this fall, but also seeing where our students were at in the spring and being able to assess what that experience was and what foundational skills we'll need to focus a little bit more closely on as we enter into the fall.
And I think that addresses kind of the handling the gap as well, just focusing on priorities. Are we receiving a link and specific information to log into Schoology, or can we try it now? I mean, you could try it now. You just go into the PowerSchool portal and get your access code, but we will send out those links. But you would have your access code in there right now, ready to go, and you could go to Schoology.com and sign up for an account.
Absolutely. And this last question came in again. I first of all, I want to apologize for the ton of communications that I've been sending out. It seems sometimes that the information changes pretty regularly. I don't want to overwhelm anybody with these updates that we'll send out. Usually they're called Lincoln Remote Learning Updates, and it's the date after it. But I'm trying to bullet point, or at least synthesize a lot of the information that's coming to us at the schools in those. So one of the things that I did this past week, and I sent it out again on Sunday, yes, the Power School schedule does show Wednesday as the first day. That is not correct. The students will start on Thursday, and that day is an A day. So students start on Thursday. They only have classes on Thursday and Friday. Wednesday is a remote planning day as we get everything situated, not only from a technological standpoint, but also making sure that we have everything set here at the school for our students and for our staff. You know what, the other thing that's on there, additionally, I said that the Lincoln calendar is updated with A days and B days. And again, you can follow that all the way through the month of September. I did want to just make sure that we didn't fill it out for the whole year, just in case there's an unforeseen day that we need to switch up that rotation and throw everybody off. So we'll be updating that regularly so that you can plan out your weeks and your days for that. There are some, conversations right now with regard to map testing, and what that's going to look like in a remote setting. We're getting some more guidance from NWEA, who does, who's the parent company for our map testing. So again, we're going to be getting further guidance with that. It is possible that that will take place later in September, but we don't have all the details with that. So great question with regard to that. Again, through all of this, we are trying to implement and trying to put into place as many of the structures and as many of the things that were present in our in-person setting. Now we realize that there are some things that are missing there. And again, what we've been working hard, and our staff was back for the first day today. And what we're really working hard to do is, changing our approach, changing our procedures and some of our systems to be able to accommodate those things that don't translate as easily into the virtual setting. But as far as some of these other things, attendance and making up work, you can expect the same approach to those things as would be in person. Some of the assessments that we're doing, not only from the state or from some of our benchmark assessments like map testing, we're looking to still have that data so that we can continue to monitor student progress. So again, there are going to be some things that translate a little bit better, that mirror a little bit more closely the in-person aspect of our schooling. But there are also some of those things that we're having to rethink and to approach from a different angle so that we can still have those things in place, albeit maybe looking a little bit differently. Awesome. Well, again, I want to first thank Mrs. Powell, and Mr. Perucci. I know with a lot of the technology that is dependent upon, or that remote learning is dependent upon, again, they've been really doing a great job of getting us up and running. And again, I want to give them both props. Parents, again, we realize that the situation is not easy on you. As we've gone into remote learning, we understand the challenges that are there. And I understand the challenges that are there, not only for our staff, but also for our students. This isn't easy on any of us. And yes, there are some things that we are doing as best we can to get these things up and running. Of course, I just, appreciate the understanding when we run into those challenges that are unforeseen and that might not turn out the way we want to. But again, we are in this together. What it is going to require in those very first slides that Mrs. Powell presented, that partnership. I hope that that continues to be here. Again, you've got my email, you've got my phone number. I'm trying to keep up with all the communication that's coming into the schools right now. So if I'm not getting back to you, I apologize as quickly as I'd like. But again, know that we're here for you as a support. We're here for your students. And again, I just hope that we're all here for each other navigating these pretty, unfortunate times. No, you know what? There are no issues with District 64 Chromebooks working outside of Illinois. They will work anywhere there's an internet connection. And as long as they've got a D64 account, they'll be able to log in from any Chrome, any device that has Chrome up and running there. So
as long as you take us with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I could use a vacation right now. Absolutely. So no, we do appreciate all of your support. Again, we will be the next couple of days working as a staff to get all of our professional development, get everything ready for the start of the year. You will, fortunately or unfortunately, be hearing more from me with regard to communications that I'm sending out. Again, hoping not to overwhelm you. But again, I want to appreciate everything that you're doing for students at home, wishing you and your families all the best. And we're hoping that you stay safe.
Okay, thanks for joining us tonight. This will all be posted on our Parent University site, both the slides as well as the recording, and we'll make sure we send out some of that information with links as well. Have a good night.
Thank you.